Welcome back to another video of the channel. My name is Julio. Thanks for tuning in. Before we get started, like, subscribe, hit the notification button, and let's get down to business. So today we're going to be talking about Cisco port security and the advantages it provides to your network regarding security. Before we get into the lab, let's get inside the details. So Cisco port security is a network feature that enhances access control by restricting the number of MAC addresses allowed on a switch port, thereby preventing unauthorized devices from connecting to the network. It works by defining a maximum number of MAC addresses, specifying which ones are allowed statically or dynamically, and setting actions for when a violation occurs: protect, restrict, or shut down. Violation modes. Port security defines the switch response when the rules are broken. Protect. Discard traffic for unauthorized MAC addresses but doesn't report the violation. Restrict. Discards traffic for unauthorized MAC addresses and log a violation, which increases a counter. Shut down. Shuts down the port completely and it must be manually re-enabled. Default settings. Violation mode. Shut down. Maximum secure MAC addresses is 1. Port security is disabled by default on a port, and sticky address learning disabled by default as well. Alright, so here's the CLI we're going to be injecting on the switch. We're going to configure DHCP. We're going to configure interface VLAN 20 with the corresponding IP address. And we're also going to configure Ethernet 0/0 and 0/1 with VLAN 20, port security, and sticky MAC address. And also note, as a bonus, I'm going to show you how to re-enable the port automatically in case the shutdown violation is triggered. Now that we've covered all the essential information about port security, let's get inside CML and let's get started with the lab. Let's get it, guys. Alright, so we're inside CML now. We're going to start configuring the DHCP, VLAN 20, and also we're going to configure Ethernet 0/0 and 0/1 to participate on VLAN 20, and also to configure port security and MAC address sticky. Now we're going to go ahead and start desktop number 2, and let's console into it. We're going to log in now to it using Cisco, and we're going to verify if we got an IP address from the DHCP. And we do. Awesome. Now let's do a show run interface Ethernet 0/0, and as you can see, the MAC address of the computer that we connected on that port is already being learned and is in sticky. Now keep in mind that you have to do a write memory in order for that to maintain after a reboot and not go to the MAC address learning process all over again. Alright, so here's the bonus I was talking to you about. Let's do a config T and let's do a ERR disable recovery cost, and let's pick up P secure violation, and let's give it an interval of 30 seconds. This means that when a port goes into shutdown state due to port security violation, it will re-enable the interface automatically instead of going to the interface and doing a no shut manually. Alright, so let's go ahead and enable desktop number 0 and desktop number 1, and let's console into both desktops. Okay, so let's go again to the switch, and as you can see, it already triggered the port security violation due to the fact that this port is learning 2 MAC addresses, and the default in port security is to learn just 1 MAC address per port. So in order to overcome this limitation, we gotta go inside Ethernet 0/1, and we're gonna do a command switch port security max 2. And now we're gonna be able to learn the second MAC address that was being revoked by the port security configuration that the port had. And you're also gonna see that the interface Ethernet 0/1 is gonna bounce back up again automatically because of the error disable commands that we inputted before. Alright, so let's go to desktop 1. Let's log in using this Cisco and Cisco as the username and password. Let's do an if config, and let's verify we get a IP from the DHCP server. Alright, let's give it a couple of seconds. Let's jump into desktop 0. Let's do a login with the username and password Cisco. Let's do an if config, and let's verify if we get an IP from the DHCP server. And we do. Awesome. Let's jump into desktop number 1 again, and let's verify if we get an IP from the DHCP server. And we do. Sweet. Alright, so let's do a show port security interface Ethernet 0/0 and 0/1. And you're gonna see the violation mode, you're gonna see the port security status, and you're also gonna see the MAC address, the last MAC address that it was learned, and how many security violation counts have. Alright, so let's go to config T, let's go to interface Ethernet 0/1, and let's change the port security violation mode from shutdown to restrict. Alright, so we're just gonna create another desktop, which is gonna be desktop number 3. We're gonna add link to the unmanaged switch. We're gonna boot the desktop up. Alright, so let's jump back to the switch, and as you can see, it already triggered the restricted port security violation, which means that the port continues to allow traffic from the secure, learn, or manually configured MAC addresses, but drops traffic from unknown or violating MAC addresses. And as you can see, the security violation count has gone up to 14, and this is due to the fact that the port security that is configured on this port is set to 2 MAC addresses. So to overcome this limitation, we are going to set it up to 3. Let's go to config T, let's go interface Ethernet 0/1, and let's configure switch port security max 3. Alright, so let's go to desktop 3, let's log in using Cisco as a username and password combo, and let's do an if config, and let's verify that we got an IP from the DHCP server. And we do. Awesome. So let's do a ping test with the default gateway, 192.168.20.1, and we're getting a reply back from our gateway. Awesome. Alright, so let's jump back into the switch. Let's do a show port security interface E0/1, and as you can see, the maximum MAC address is set to 3, and we no longer have any violations coming from that port. Alright, so this is all for today's lab. I hope you're enjoying the content. If you did, please give it a like, and as always, this is Julio. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.